Well, Team India's sorry and shameful show at Kolkata has forced the selectors to ring in some changes in that test squad for the fourth test at Nagpur, and Sandeep Patil and his team have gone ahead and done the needful in the sense that they've made three major changes to the Indian squad that will play in Nagpur. You can look at that. The openers Sehwag and Gambhir are retained along with Rani and Vijay, who've been warming the benches so far in the series. In the middle order, you can notice the first big change. Yuvraj Singh has been shown the door because of his poor performance. 125 runs in 5 innings for Yuvraj Singh. He's been shown the door. Ravindra Jadeja has come into that squad. Cheteshwar Pujara, Virat Kohli, Tendulkar and Dhoni continue to stay. The other big change has come in the trio of spinners. You've got Ashwin and Ojha who've retained their place, but Piyush Chawla comes into the side in place of Harbhajan Singh. That's the second change of the three that the selectors have done. And the third change you can see on the screen on the left. You can see that Parvinder Ravana has gotten an opportunity to showcase his skills on the big stage. The Delhi Seamer coming in place of pace veteran Zahir Khan, who's just got 4 wickets, and the selectors feel a senior player like him should have been able to do a lot more for the Indians. Saurav Ganguly, former Indian captain, and Nikhil Chopra are here with us on this broadcast. Saurav, coming to you first. You said you were in a sense happy with what the selectors have done, but you felt there could have been some more changes because the yardstick of performance is not being used across the board. But in a sense, these three changes were quintessential for India, isn't it?
Yeah, you can say that. See, there's an indication there. Of bringing in youth. Zahir Khan has been asked to send a message. I thought probably he could have been continued. Harbhajan Singh hasn't played a game, a test match, but he was left out, I think, to accommodate a leg spinner. So Harbhajan Singh's dropping has been because to get a different variation. Ashwin and Ojha are already playing and they need a leg spinner. So that's the reason Harbhajan Singh has got axed. Yuvraj Singh, I understand, in test cricket, I don't think he's done enough to be a part of this test side. That's understandable. But Zahir Khan, I think, was still required in this team. Yes, he's not performing. He hasn't picked wickets in this series, but he hasn't bowled that badly either. But obviously the message is pretty clear. We want young players in the squad, and we see a whole lot of young players. Ravindra Jadeja has replaced Yuvraj Singh, and I won't be surprised if he gets a game because he's got the 2 triple hundreds in domestic cricket. He can bowl left arm spin. I expect the wicket at Nagpur to be a turner. So I think he will do Yuvraj Singh's role in Nagpur. But the indication is pretty clear that it's time for young players to come in, and very rightly so. And I think it's a message for other senior players as well, the people who are in the team, people like Gambhir, Sehwag, who's had a good series. He's got a test 100 in got some runs in Kolkata as well. Gambhir, Sehwag, Dhoni, these senior guys, there's a message there that you need to keep performing and pick yourself up. Otherwise, there could be a few more changes once the series is over.
Well, indeed, raise your act is the big message that's coming in from the selectors. Dada, before I go to Nicola, interesting to note that you said that Zahir still deserves a spot in that squad, but there are many who believe that when India went to England last year and Zahir pulled up in the first game, we thought that's the reason why India couldn't win in England. But Zahir was in that squad in Australia. He couldn't go out and pull his weight there too. And now here in India, where he's known as one of the best exponents of reverse swing, we saw the likes of Jimmy Anderson and even Stephen Finn get more reverse swing and do the job for their team than Zahir.
See, I have the other way of putting around it. It just goes me to show that how come one team is so dependent on one bowler. India were in a good position at Lord's till Zahir Khan was bowling, and moment he got injured, we looked a completely different bowling attack. Even in Australia, every time India put pressure, it was because of Zahir Khan. And there was not much of backup from the other end. Now my point is that how come we are so dependent on one bowler, Zahir Khan? Even now in these 3 test matches, Zahir Khan hasn't picked wickets, or we maybe picked a couple in Bombay, picked a couple in Ahmedabad, but there's nobody else from the other side who is picking wickets as a fast bowler. I understand Zahir Khan has to bowl at one end, but there has to be somebody at the other end also picking wickets. So I think he's probably gone in that boat of trying to send a message, trying to keep some of these senior members out and bringing in young players. And that's why I feel that this selection is a trend in which way the Indian selectors will go in the future, and hopefully they may remain consistent. That is important because India is in a rebuilding phase. There are a lot of young players in that squad who will keep looking at each other in the dressing room, who will keep looking at Sachin Tendulkar, keep looking at the captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni in the dressing room and see what's going around. So if they get a consistent message from the selectors, that's fine. because I feel young players need to come in, and India had a very ordinary time in Test cricket for the last 15-16 months. So that's completely fine with me as long as it's consistent.
Well, true. There would be the three of them who have been given the axe might consider themselves a tad bit unlucky. Yuvraj Singh, for one, he's just coming back into that Test squad. He got 125 runs. He got a half century in that first game, Motera, but he's been shown the door. And likewise, Harbhajan Singh, if he had not done too much in Ranji Trophy to merit a selection in the first place, but he was brought into the side as a second specialist off spinner. He played in Mumbai, where he was not bowled to his fullest there. Nikhil, do you think both Harbhajan and Yuvraj Singh too could feel aggrieved that they have been shown the door?
Well, I guess, Bajji, I completely agree with Dada. You know, it makes a lot of sense that you brought in variety. You want to win the Test match, and we all know that the wrist spinner, even if it's a good batting track, will be able to extract a little more. But I'm sure, you know, at Nagpur, it would be a turning track, and it just brings a lot of variety if Piyush is played. So that makes a lot of sense. But Yuvi, I just feel that in Test match cricket, he's always had a bad run in terms of, you know, not being given the right sort of opportunity. Whereas in Sri Lanka, if you remember, he got 100 in the tour game. The first Test match he played, he got a half century. Then he fell ill, and then Suresh Raina came, he got 100.
Right.
But Yuvi was never back in the squad once he got fit, and then of course injury. When he came back in his first Test match, he got a half century. I felt that at least he should be given a full Test series. One more Test match. If he doesn't perform, fair enough. You can go on with that reputation that maybe Yuvraj Singh is not for Test match cricket. He's a fantastic match winner in one-day cricket.
Well, Nikhil, clearly the selectors,
he's always been given the wrong.
The selectors clearly feeling that it was important to send a message across after those two consecutive home defeats. It's not happened in over 12 years. The last time India lost two Test matches at home was against the South Africans in 1999-2000. Since then, Indian cricket has certainly come of age. The team has done well overseas and at home. But to see those two defeats has forced Sandeep Patil and his team to go out and bring in the changes. Dada, clearly the pressure was on the selectors today. We heard BCCI Vice President Niranjan Shah too come out and say that the BCCI would not interfere with selection matters. In the end, Sandeep Patil and his team have sent out that message. But do you think by retaining Dhoni as Test captain, by letting some of the other underperformers still carry on, there would be some who feel that much more overall needs to be done for Indian cricket to come back on track?
See, you cannot replace Dhoni as Test captain during the middle of a series, and they've gone completely the right way by doing that. I don't think you cannot go to that drastic levels, but the selectors were definitely under pressure. They had to do something because you were 2-1 down in the series, and also the past performances. You've lost 8 Test matches in a row overseas in the last 1 year and 2 here, so that's 10 out of probably 14 or 15 Test matches. So there has been a lot of pressure on the selectors, and they've reacted because of that. And obviously there's another senior player, Sachin Tendulkar, who I don't. So the selectors, as I said, have started a trend, and what will be important for me to see in the next 3-4 months how consistent they are, and what's their way forward.
Well, yes, Ravindra Jadeja's inclusion, Dada, how positive a move is that? Because he did get a couple of triple hundreds this Ranji season, and clearly the selectors have given weightage to Ranji performances. He's also a quality left-arm spinner. Do you think he should get that number 6 slot? Or do you think Ashwin has done enough to come at number 7 with Dhoni promoted number 6 so that India can bring in Piyush Chawla as well and play 3 spinners?
Yeah, I don't think that will be a bad option in a one-off test. I think Dhoni can bat at number 6 and Ashwin can bat at number 7. But just for this test match, I don't think it's a long-term solution, because I want to see Ashwin being a front-line off spinner. He may have got runs in the series with the bat. He got a 90 in the second innings here. He got a 60 in Mumbai. But his bowling also has not been up to the mark. He hasn't been able to pick wickets at crucial intervals for India. And he's picked as a frontline bowler, but not as an all-rounder. But for a one-off test match with the form Ravichandran Ashwin is in, I think you can give him an opportunity at number 7 and pick Dhoni at 6, play 3 spinners, and then pick your 2 fast bowlers and probably go in with the extra bowler. Because for me, it doesn't matter whether India lose 2-1 or 3-1. But if they can get back from here and level the series 2-all, I think they'll be happy by the end of the Nagpur test.
Well, 2-all still would be a face-saving exercise for India, because remember, they start the series hoping for a brown wash. Nikhil, I'll come back to you in a bit, but Dada, carrying on with you, Parvinder Ravana, he's a selection that's certainly surprised many. Do you think he's done enough for Delhi and in domestic cricket to earn a test cap or a spot on the test side?
Yes, I think so. I think he picks a lot of wickets. He's a fit young fast bowler. He's like Ashok Dinda. These two boys are very, very fit. And it's good that he's been given an opportunity, given a reward for performing in domestic cricket. I don't know whether he'll get to play, because obviously Dinda was in the squad before and Ishant Sharma is there. He might play, and I don't know whether he will carry on once Umesh Yadav comes back fit, at least in domestic matches. Maybe it will be a different ball game when we go outside. But I think he's got a reward for performing in domestic cricket over a span of 3-4 years, and I think he deserved his opportunity for India.
Once again, the big message that the selectors have given is that for all senior players, they need to raise their act. That's the message that the selectors have given in this decision that they've made today by axing Zahir, Harbhajan and Yuvraj. They've sent a message to everyone in the lineup that performance alone will be the single most important criteria to win back your place in this side. So someone like Gambhir, who's got a couple of half centuries but has failed to capitalize and get that big, he would need to raise his performance. Likewise, Virat Kohli, he's been in great form all through, but in this series he's just failed to deliver. So they all need to perform.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty clear message that we all need to perform. And what the selectors need to do also is to keep two things in mind. If India has to be a good team and India has to go back to the team they were from 2000 to probably 2010, they will have to identify players who perform at the right situation. It's no point performing when you're 6 down for 100, you're batting with the tail and there's nothing in the game, you get a 50. But when you're in a position to win a game, position to save a game, that's when you need players to stand up and perform. And I think that's where the identification the selectors need to carry and give weightage to, that you perform when it is required. And also it's important for the selectors to start building a team which will perform overseas, give value to hundreds outside India, outside the subcontinent, and be consistent with them. I think these are the two areas where the selectors need to have a very close look and give preference at the time of selection.
Dada, one final comment from me before we let you go. Keeping the team that has been chosen in mind, do you think this is the best available team for India to go to Nagpur and go out there and get that series levelling win? Is this the best available team?
Well, it's a fresh team. It's a do-or-die test match for India. They've picked players who hasn't had the scars of losing, hasn't had the scars of those last 14-15 months where India has struggled considerably. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it'll work. I don't know how many of them will play, Sundar, because if India go with 5 bowlers, then obviously Ashwin moves up the batting order, and then you get another leg spinner in Piyush Chawla. If India plays with Ravindra Jadeja, obviously he'll be the newcomer in the squad, bowling left arm spin and batting, and we'll see 2 young fast bowlers. Maybe Ishant Sharma will continue, so Ishant Sharma and one of them. So a lot of them might not play, but obviously there is a message. You've got in 1 or 2 fresh players to come in without any scars of defeats and try and deliver for India. But for me, the most important word will be consistency. Will it be the same system for other players as well who are not performing? For me, that is where the trick of the selectors lie. If they want to build a team, if they want to build a close unit which will rebuild Indian cricket and start winning in all forms of the game, they will have to maintain consistency.
Right, consistency is absolutely critical. Dada, just a quick thought. You were there at the Eden Gardens this morning. When you saw the selectors walk down to Mahendra Singh Dhoni and have an animated chat and then follow that up with another chat with Duncan Fletcher, did you expect these kind of changes coming in at that time?
Yeah, I did. I honestly did, that there will be changes. But obviously there was talk about Mahendra Singh Dhoni's captaincy. I didn't feel that it was the right time to leave him as drop him as captain in the middle of the series. But at some stage his workload will also need to be reassessed, because we don't want to lose Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the batsman and the keeper. He's got tremendous workload. He's playing all formats of the game. He's captaining all formats of the game, and the selector should take him into confidence at some stage and work a map for him in the future. But I could sense and I could make out that there were changes around the corner.
Well, changes in the offing, and they've certainly, the selectors have gone ahead and done that. 3 big changes. Yuvraj Singh, Zahir Khan, Harbhajan Singh have been shown the door. Parvinder Ravana, Piyush Chawla and Ravindra Jadeja have been given an opportunity to prove themselves in the big test arena. Saurav Ganguly, many thanks for joining us and giving us